Fellas, in all honesty, it is 11:30. I get up pretty early in the morning. I'm still waiting to do my morning walk. In beautiful South Florida, that's where I am. I would love to get after this walk, but just you just heard it buzz. That's the Atlantic League. Waiting on a few others right now. We made offers to. I had another guy go up to New York last night. I have guys all over the country, guys. Teams are asking, and I don't have what they're asking for. So basically, it's been, I just texted my last pitcher who says he's getting healthy, building up right now. If we had hundreds of guys, we would sign hundreds of guys. I just had a Pioneer League connect who I know for a very long time, who I'm very close with, found out he got a job out there west, and now he's asking me for guys, and we don't have them. So if you're a guy that I'm recently talking to, that I found from you ended a league, you finished a league, you inquired to me about playing, you've been in contact over the summer, whatever, today we had a live at bat session set up in the Chicago area that was canceled, actually, because the player that was going to get the live at bats while on the road with the team stayed in Canada and faced our guy that they signed, that they left in Canada to throw live to that guy. Like, there's so much going on. There's just activity right now that's so busy during the day that I wake up in the morning and I can't get out of here for 3-4 hours. And I'm turning down several position player and pitching jobs a day because we don't have what we need to offer it to these teams. Guys, I'm a little different than some of these other guys in the game. I've actually been bringing players to tryouts for over 20 years. It's my profession is bringing players to events, training them, developing them, and getting them signed and moving them on along, their professional career. So the difference between me and them is, they are the event. We also have our own events, which we're setting up through the fall, and we're bringing guys to those events that you guys are all looking up. And, we should train together and travel to those events together. And then I can speak about you. And that's the difference between me and most of what's going on, guys. I can only call these teams now in the summer and set things up for guys that I've seen, that are playing for me, and that are committed to doing something in the future, meaning you're locked into the tour, you're locked into next year, you're not just trying to get a job now and use me, because I really don't care to throw people's names around that I don't know and can't vouch for. So you got to really understand how it works with real baseball people versus I'm sending an email, I'm getting my information out there, and I hope somebody signs me. For all the signed guys that are watching, I know you want to talk about Australia, you want to talk about the games in Mexico and all that. For any partner league guys, signed guys, whoever you are, it's always been like this, and now everybody's got an agent, but not everyone's going to sign to winter ball. There are not even any winter ball jobs really open. It's much like partner league ball for these rookies. There are no jobs open to you guys. You're waiting for something to happen. That's pretty much how it is for the rookie independent guy. There are a lot of guys with similar and good numbers, especially in the Frontier League and Pioneer League, where the experience is a little less, but the numbers are the same. You guys aren't all just going to get those jobs. So we are being proactive, and instead of telling everybody, hey, winter ball, go to our website at blacksoxprobaseball.com. And guys, take a second to subscribe to this YouTube page. I know if guys are paying attention and following along and, seeing what we're doing or not, if the subscribers grow. If they don't, then you're not paying attention. You don't care. And, you can do it whichever way you want, but it's a good barometer to me of how things are going and what's going on. If you look at our list of players signed, free agent players that we have on the board, I have a list. I've got a few lists of my own. I have a signed overseas list that's currently playing overseas. That's about 7 guys, and there's going to be more added that I know are going to Australia, Japan, and some other places. Our guys right now are playing in the BC Japanese League. Guys that are already set to go play in the State League in Australia and all that. Like, we are playing against the Melbourne Aces, who broke away from the ABL to do their own winter ball. So when you guys talk about winter ball, it's like, hey, I want to play winter ball. Well, we're going to Mexico October 6th and 8th to play the Aguilas. That's the best way that I know to get signed to play winter balls, to go play against the teams. In 2025, we got to be the Claiborne Railroaders and play against Jalisco down in Texas. But take a second to go to blacksoxprobaseball.com, guys, and it's spreadsheets. I know it's boring, but check out, the Australia roster. Guys tentatively going to Australia, list of players promoted on there. I mean, it's 47 or more of the guys this year, and it's all the teams. It tells you how many teams we sign, players to, how many players to each team. We've signed players to 23 different independent clubs so far in 2026. Mikey needed a water break. You can hear it. But, guys need to be realistic about what's going on. I mentioned we signed 23 players to 23 different teams this year. I think it's like 9 in the Atlantic. A couple have already announced they're going to be in the International Baseball Showdown, which we'll get after. 16 guys in the American Association, 14 guys in the Frontier League. Our last Pioneer League signing, why would they want our guys? We barely have anybody in the Pioneer League. And so you got to think about, if my players actually almost have too much experience and might be guys that they don't want in the Pioneer League because they played in this league or that league or whatever. And some guys are just trying to get players that their owner's saying they have to have just played in college, or they have to be a guy that was on the draft board, or like whatever it is, because especially guys hit me up, this team sucks, sign me to this team. It's like, they're going to get fired hiring you. Okay. You can't sign players when the organization be like, all right, so we're already bad, and who are you grabbing here? Who is this guy? So you got to be very realistic about what this is, guys. And, unfortunately for all these other people, I wish that they could be as honest with you in this. I'm just trying to be the most honest and the most direct. It's definitely the reason I get a decent, amount of haters, because I turn a lot of people away, and I tell a lot of people that your standard is not a standard at all, and it's not going to work. So they go places where their standard is allowed. And so for me, I don't associate with any of those places. I don't use any of those names of places people have been to previously, because it's not going to help them going forward trying to get signed, if that's what we really do. If we're really trying to get signed, if that's really what we're getting after, this is the plan that I have for you. So anyway, my guys who want to go to Australia, my signed partner league guys in the Atlantic League, Pioneer League, Frontier League, American Association who want to go over with us, check out on BlackSoxProBaseball.com our rosters of guys currently on our tentative Australia roster. I mean, you've got a guy that played in AAA. You've got a guy that's currently catching for the Houston Astros. You got a guy, one of the top college players in the country, is going to start Game 3 for us in that first series. Guy from the Atlantic League, guy that played in the Pioneer League, guy that played in the Atlantic Frontier. Outfield, if we get Justin Gideon and Tyler Williams back, that would be awesome. Gideon had 95 hits a year for 3 years in Quebec before now going to Welland in the new CBL, the Canadian Baseball League, and he's dominating over there. Tyler Williams has 18 home runs this year between the Atlantic and Pioneer League. He was our top offensive player last year in the International Baseball Showdown against the Melbourne Aces. If you look at the Killer Bees, the next series, I don't know if all these names are going to be exactly plugged into these series, but you've got Pioneer League guy, you've got Atlantic League third baseman, you've got over 10-year professional Tillman Pugh making the return. I mean, these are the kinds of guys that are playing in this thing. These are the kinds of guys that want to go play in this thing. Last year we had Jamison Hill, signed by Melbourne. Jordan Sickett, signed by Melbourne. Currently right now, Elliot Johnstone and Gleason, signed by Melbourne. They also grabbed a couple of other guys along the way there when they needed them. So the goal to sign with Melbourne would be to play against the Korean teams, guys. And the Korean teams being the KT Wiz and the Hanwha Eagles. The Eagles and Wiz host Melbourne in the International Fall Series, which is in, I think it's October 14th to 31st over in Korea. We had a lot of players invited to go do this last year. Not many of them pulled the trigger. Any of them pulled the trigger. If I'm you guys, I get invited because of my resume. I'm going, hands down. Some guys had to get their own flights. I mean, fly to Korea to throw against them. Jared Dale signed for over $500,000 with a club after doing this route with the Melbourne Aces. And then obviously our guys got signed to the Aces. So do the math, boys. Everyone's saying they want to play at the highest level. They want to play for the most money. Go get in front of these teams if you're actually being invited. Once over in Australia, in about the end of January, the Eagles and the Wiz come over, and they're going to do their spring training there. So they're going to do like 2 weeks of practice, 2 weeks of games. And when they do those 2 weeks of games, you could be signed in February to play against those Korean clubs like Sickett and Hill. Hill's in the Atlantic right now. Sickett's not even playing anymore. I mean, he absolutely went off in the series. They're going to give guys an opportunity if they find a hole for you, if they find a spot for you. Also, Elliot Johnstone, it helped him get signed. He was previously with the New York Mets. He ended up getting re-signed, to go play right now. He's in Japan, and he'll be joining those guys, in Melbourne after. Even if you look at our LMP games versus the Aguilas on October 6th and 8th, going to Mexico to play against teams. A lot of guys talk about Mexico, 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 Mexico. Well, we played against Jalisco, and we're playing against the Aguilas, and they've invited us. And so I'm trying to put the best club together that I can. Right now, I've already got, and I might not even be able to bring all these guys, 9 guys on the pitching staff. A couple guys released by the Seattle Mariners. Got a left-handed pitcher that pitched 3 years in Mexico. He's got some pretty good experience for us, and we're looking to bring in more experienced players. Bringing in another Mexican born catcher who's got time in the American Association and Pioneer League. Our manager is going to be Mexican. It's going to be Cipriano Garza. Cip, I don't even know if you know that. I hope you're there. We've got a Mexican shortstop coming up from Texas. And the reason that we want these players to have Mexican descent is so that they have an opportunity to actually make something happen with one of these clubs down the road, and also professional experience if you're an American, because or any nationality, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for guys with pro experience who are foreigners to play. They're not looking for the average guy. But if you can go there and you are the average guy and you're going to go there and you're going to wow them, use it on your highlight video. Use the tour on your highlight video. Use the Australia YouTube is insane. The YouTube for the Melbourne Aces was sold to Korean markets. It led all ABL teams in views. We sold out every game at the stadium. You guys have the most eyes on you by doing this process. The games we played in the spring training tour, use those highlights next year to get yourself signed. Everyone's sending out their, TrackMan or Exit Velo or whatever it is. But that's not what's going to get it done, boys. What's going to get it done is doing the best you can do in front of the highest ranking people. That is why we do what we do. So real quick, that's a rundown of some things that are going on. Quick, the schedule, guys, and please look at BlackSoxProBaseball.com. Again, I know it's a bunch of spreadsheets and schedules, and I'm trying to hurry up so I get out to this walk before it's 95 degrees and the phone rings again. But in reality, you've got a weekly schedule on there. 2026 rosters and schedules and results, guys. Click on that. It's got your daily schedule. It's got right now our Kenosha Kings and our New Jersey Sox stuff that's going on, because we still have a tournament in Michigan coming up Labor Day and a tournament in York, Pennsylvania. I have multiple spots for players in the York, Pennsylvania tournament. I have spots in Florida for guys who want to play in tournaments. I have guys calling me for players all the time, and I don't even have enough to give them because guys don't want to lock in. And no, I'm not doing it for nothing. I want you to be committed to something in the future that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to be throwing it around and helping all these random players and everybody saying they're helping everybody and being everybody's agent, because in the end what it does, guys, is it makes the players not do anything or the right thing very often. And here's how I know that they're not doing the right thing or anything very often, because I've got a board that literally says your agent ain't doing shit, working for you for free, won't go to the right doctor, ghost list, not going to be feasible, the PPs, the Wild Wild West. I got it broken down on here, and it's going to be hundreds of names on there that don't do it, that don't do anything. I keep track of everything. Not so much that I care what the guy does, but I want to know later in the future, even if a guy's, you can look at a Baseball Reference, you can see the route that a guy goes and plays professionally. When a guy doesn't have that, I like to know what other things that he's been through, because the biggest thing holding guys back, the biggest thing that's hurting our dugout, our clubhouse, our club, is the mentality and the attitude of today's player. And the more that the player goes through events and disappointment and travels to play in a league and does this or that or the other thing and it doesn't work out, it's not what they expected, the more diminished their baseball desire is going to be, the more crushed their baseball soul is going to be. And all I'm trying to do, guys, is, and it's a reason I've always stayed universal, and I could send anybody to anywhere, anyone, and if they don't want the guys, don't take them, okay? The people I deal with are the people I deal with, and the people I don't deal with, I don't worry about it, guys. I really don't worry about it, and you shouldn't either. Because when it comes to being a professional baseball player, it's not about, I've told guys this so much about the Baseball Reference, it's about the actual professional baseball player. And so many guys are negating that now. They don't care about that now. They just want anything, any opportunity, anywhere. And I'm sorry. I've tried to buy into that mindset. I've tried to sell our guys to all sorts. I just can't. I can't buy into that mindset, guys. It's got to be a winning mindset. We have to go to Mexico and win these games. We have to go to Texas in front of Brian White and play the most competitive games we can play against each other. We need to go to Arizona in front of Mark Minikazi and play the most competitive games and win those games. We need to go to Mexico and win. We need to go to Northern California after in the middle of October and win in front of those teams. We're playing 2 colleges in Northern California. We got smoked last year by a team that went to the Final Four of a national championship. It's very competitive. I don't want any of those guys that I had in Cali last year. I don't want any of the guys that I had on this tour this year that didn't do very well. I want guys who understand what getting better is all about. And it is about, we are here in South Florida, and you guys that finished playing the summer, you could be here in my house right now, living with me if I know you, and I'd be training you and taking care of you. It's all about what you guys want to do. If guys want to do that, take advantage of it. You'll be able to do that. Train with me in a very close, uber close personal relationship on the field and off, where I'll teach you all of this stuff, because you need to know as much as possible, especially if you're not that good. So you have that opportunity to learn. You've got the Labor Day tournament coming up. That's going to be the first week of September. We're going to boogie on back to Florida, and we're going to be here in Florida getting ready till the end of September. Guys who want to go on a road trip, guys who want to come down and play in South Florida, I've got 3 tryout dates set up for the rest of this month. Next Wednesday, the 19th, and then the 24th and 26th. So Wednesday, the 19th and 26th, and Monday the 24th, right here in Lantana. I'll be working guys out, trying guys out. If you're a guy I already talked to, that's not a tryout. It's you signing up and coming and playing. For guys that I don't know, sure, come and try out. Let's see what you got. Getting ready till the end of September is going to be the road trip of a lifetime for a lot of guys. They've never done a trip like this. I've been talking to more parents about what their kids really need to go through and experience and learn in this to actually do it, and it is the road trip. Get in the vans with us. We're driving from Florida. We're going to work out for people in Florida. We're going to work out for people in Houston. We're going to work out for people in Dallas. We're going to plug in Dallas-Fort Worth for a couple days, get in front of a couple teams on our way to Arizona, where we're going to play a weekend doubleheader the first weekend of November. So this is, the first weekend of October. Don't get me confused. End of September, early October, and then we play the Aguilas the 6th at their stadium in Mexico. We're going over the border, so you can't have any felonies or pending charges, guys. Drugs and weapons, dogs, can't bring them. And then we're going to go back to Calexico to play the next game against the Aguilas on the 8th. If you're a player with professional experience, you are the priority. We would love to have you, meet you, and have you guys join us for that trip. After that, I'm thinking, guys, I don't want to just go home. I think Northern California, we're already out there on the West Coast, and we go do our Northern California week, October 13th to October 19th-ish. Get a couple of college games, bring down the teams that I know from the up north. I think it's at least 2 Frontier League teams, 2 or 3 Pioneer League teams. I'll be bringing the guys from my staff. And guys, the more guys that lock into this thing, the more I'm going to give to you. We already have a pretty good amount of guys signing up for the fall, which is why we've already hired for our new, it's going to be our Pro Fall Coaches Series. Just bringing in coaches, pro coaches for you guys for a week at a time to run our team or run our camp or do their own clinic. We've got a lot of guys on deck, but the first guy that we already have is Brian White, and that's going to be November 30th to December 4th-ish. Brian White is going to come down for a week from Texas. He's the hitting coach currently for the Windy City Thunderbolts, former manager of the Florence Y'alls, former pitching coach of the Florence Freedom, helped me develop and sign the most players actually during a small stretch in the Frontier League that I ever had the most success with that little Outsiders crew right there. And Brian White's a big part of that. On deck, you've got a lot of teams that I've asked, that I've talked to, that we're conversing with, doing things with right now. I got a guy in Idaho that I just found out that I have a huge connection with, that I've known for over 20 years and coached with. You've got teams in the Atlantic, teams in the Frontier, teams in the American, but most importantly, guys, getting ready for these events that you're going to go to. Whether you're going to the Indy Ball Jobs tryout on October 12th, come and get ready with us. There's nobody going to do the amount of games and reps that we're going to do. And what if you're good enough to go play in these games against the Aguilas? Now you're going to the tryout. Go tell Bert and Jamie, hey, I just played against the Aguilas. I hit a homer. I struck out the side. Here's my video. This is what I did. That, for me, is the best way to sell yourself. But if you need to just come to Florida, get ready, get the reps, get ready with our pro staff. They're going to be here too. And there's nobody doing more games at bats or anything. We looked up a stretch yesterday with some kids' parents. You want to know how many games we do, what do we do in the fall, winter. I looked it up because I don't even know. And it was 47 times out of 60 days we were on the field doing live at bats or a game. 47 out of 60. And then that's not including practices and other things that we do. And there's some travel days in there, I'm sure. And that's with rain. Without rain, we're doing even more. So again, guys, that BlackSoxProBaseball.com website has just the truth. It's got everything on there, man. You can see every player that you're competing with, every player we've signed, every player that, whatever information that you need on there. But when you go to that schedule and you look back, and it's got the monthly, it's got the breakdowns for you. When you look back at that schedule and you see how much we're actually on the field and like what we're actually doing, it's second to none, guys. There's no one else doing a nationwide international that also goes overseas to Mexico and Australia. There's nobody doing it. There's nobody doing it year round, and I'm not competing with anybody. I don't care what anybody else is doing. What I really wish that would happen is that the other guys would get you ready for this, and that they would say, hey, you're coming to the California Winter League? Come and get ready with us, because Joe has developed and signed the most California Winter League guys ever, hands down. I've got the most success with guys that didn't make it in the Winter League than the Winter League has probably with guys that get signed in the Winter League. Frontier League draft. I've drafted dozens of guys at the Frontier League draft. Pioneer League tryouts. I've drafted over 20 of my guys at Pioneer League tryouts. We had 2 guys get drafted this year at the Arizona one, and we weren't even there. We only sent 3 players. And that is also a specific note, something to take note of. You know, a few years ago, I went to the Frontier League draft with 2 catchers. I signed both of them. One year I went to the draft, I signed over a dozen guys. One year I went to the draft, I signed 8 guys. This year I went to the draft and I didn't do anything. And Colin Jensen wanted to go, and Colin Jensen got drafted. You know, and I didn't even do anything. Colin Jensen learned how to build up his professional career and his professional resume to go and do this without me. He got some time in the Atlantic League last year because of our program, because he played. He was the best guy, got some innings in the Atlantic, and it led to what he did this year. And it's unfortunately, guys, it is a slow crawl. That is what it is. You know, Denver Blinn, another guy hit me up. Thanks, Joe, for that opportunity. You got me in Ogden the previous year, because now I'm home in Fargo, and Fargo signed me, and I got 5 at-bats this year in the American Association. And that's huge for Denver Blinn, because now Denver Blinn can use those 5 at-bats in the American Association, the previous experience in Ogden in the Pioneer League, and show that, like, look, man, I really want to play. I'm still doing this, even though it's 5 at-bats a year. You know, eventually it's going to click. It's like Max Marleveld signed right now with Ottawa. You know, Marleveld was the clubby in 2022 in New Jersey while he was, I think he got released from Sussex that year. I think he got released from Sussex in spring training and pitched for New Jersey during the season, was the clubby. And Bobby Brown remembers him as being the clubby. So he's like, dude, I'm going to sign a guy that's thrown 23, 24, 25, 26. He's probably thrown 1,000 innings since then. He's thrown 5 years since Bobby knew him. Bobby said, that's the guy I want. I'm going to take that guy. That's a good kid. And sometimes, guys, that's all it takes, is being the right guy, the familiar guy. And the problem that players are doing now, you're running around to all these different things. I get a guy come in my program. He's a great player, great hitter. I'm going to market this guy. He's going to be good for a couple of years. And the guy leaves and thinks he's got to go put on another uniform to go try it some other way. Well, that's fine, but I'm not saying your name anymore. And now the other people don't know you as well. Your story is whatever story you want to build up in this. Whatever you want to make happen in this, you can make happen for yourself, boys. And, you know, I had a guy actually tell me the other day, you know, I was on the mound and I was struggling. I was thinking, Joe's probably thinking like, this is what you get when you're not prepared. And I mean, yes, this stuff crosses my mind because I'm seeing you guys at the highest level compete, but I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to win. I want you to get signed. You guys don't understand how much, if I really had to show you guys, you know, and it's tough. I mean, there's really so much going on here. If I really had to show you guys what is actually going on, no. I mean, this is just all day, every day. Mikey snoring his head off, but snoring with his eyes open, you know, and we're just in here and I don't turn the lights on. And, you know, sorry, I think it was facing the wrong way there. Must have hit a button, but, you know, we're just, there's the poo man. And this is what we do, boys. This is it. This is full-time job, man. There's no kids lessons. There's no, you know, other job. There's nothing else going on because you guys keep me this busy doing this. The problem is we're talking to too many managers about what they need and we don't have it. The player is just displaced, 6 months away from doing anything, thousands of dollars away from doing anything, just can't figure out that, like, maybe I could just do this one thing. Maybe I just come for a week. Maybe I just do, and that is the opportunity that we are allowing you guys to have. It is a nationwide membership, boys. You can do this anywhere, anytime. You can hit me up. I want to do Cali. I want to do Arizona. I want to do this. I want to do that. But you got to be good enough. And requirements for going overseas to Australia, requirements for going to play in these Mexico games. Spend some time around us, boys. Spend some time on a real team, not crying about the opportunity that you didn't get when you actually were on a team signed. You did get an opportunity. So can't hear that. Take advantage of a physical opportunity that you could be at and doing instead of being home in the cage, in the facility with your friends, whatever it is that you're doing training. It's not helping. It's not the thing. I'm sorry. In my experience, just not been the way, hasn't been the thing. And if I had a list on this whiteboard of 100 guys that said they wanted to do it their way and it worked out, and that's why I'm keeping this. I keep these boards throughout the year to know, okay, no, didn't work for anybody that said they were going to do it this way. It's not easy. It's a financial investment. It's incredibly hard, guys. It's incredibly hard. Stop thinking that it's easy. Stop saying that you know you could play somewhere. You don't know you could play somewhere until you did it. I hate hearing that. I know I could do this in this level. I don't think so. You can't say that. Don't say that to real people. You're dealing with real people. And the problem is once you start dealing with me, you start treating me like either some girl you used to be with or your therapist. And if you want to do that, boys, just like them, pay the money.